paperwork involved and knowing about publishing. People in the sync side are real leery of doing business with new people because they want to know that you got split sheets. They want to know that you didn't use any samples. If you use Splice, they want to know that you use it in the way that nobody else ain't no content ID going to be tripped because you use the same loop that somebody else did. So because of that, they're real scared of working with new people, and so I like to have people come through the education process first so that everybody's on the same page, and then when everybody's educated, we can all pitch in and go in on songs together.
Wow, that's a lot of good information, man. Real quick, these music managers, it sounds like these music managers are like the new A&Rs. Is that like what it is now?
What do you mean when you say music managers?
Like music supervisors.
Music supervisors.
Is that like A&R if they the ones listening to the music?
So I look at an A&R as somebody who puts things together. Like if I have somebody A&R in my album, I have this person is going to find the producers that's going to make it sound a certain way. They're going to find the engineers to make it sound, and then they're going to get the studio. They're going to book the studio time, and they're going to have everybody come together in order to create one product. So that's what I think of when I hear an A&R, a music supervisor. They can sit at a desk all day and just
flip records,
and just flip the records. You know, so in my opinion, I'd say artists, a music supervisor, their job is way easier. It doesn't have as many moving parts. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason I was making that connection is because, like, for so many years, an A&R would hear guys off the street and just bring them into the label and kind of polish them up some. So that was the direction with that. So tell us, you got a Bronco commercial now?
Yeah. For a Bronco.
Tell us how that worked, how they came to fruition, and like being from Chattanooga, boy, that's big to us.
That's very big. That's big period.
You know what I'm saying? So tell us how that came about.
So the people who did that was people like Pathfinder. I'm not really familiar with their other works, but Pathfinder, it was a couple other, Visit Chat had something to do with that because they were the people who got with the Pathfinder company in order to do this. Like, we have a new commercial. Ford is like, we have a new commercial. These are the people who are contracting to do this commercial, and we need music. So, but they searched a lot of artists though. They got they had a pool of music that they pulled from and sent, to be used for that commercial, and I just so happened to be picked. So that's not something that I can't say that my expertise is what got me there. I can't say that. I think just my connections with the people, there, and the fact, if you got a good product, it's gonna withstand the test of time for you. You know what I'm saying? So Zone is just one of those songs where it's been picked up for quite a few different sync things, and it's still, growing legs and, on its own.
Just to add to it, even without knowing that, sometimes things that, like your own brand, gives you the edge, and so you might not know what, you might not have said, okay, I didn't do something particular to put mine in the edge, but I know a lot of times, if they've got 20 artists and they hear the music, they're gonna do a couple things. They're gonna go to their Spotify. So music supervisors still do things like some of the traditional industries. They still do care about your brand. So they do care about what your streaming numbers look like. Do you have, TikTok followers? Even before I came here, I looked at your numbers. Like, you got good numbers on Spotify. And so somebody's gonna look at that, and so if they like your song or they like 5 of their songs, just the fact that you are an artist that has hustle, or you're out here letting people know who you are, and you're working, you're doing shows every weekend, all that goes to, if I like 5 of these songs, but I want my brand associated with this artist because this artist is actually like moving and working. And so if you're an indie artist, getting your music right is really important, and knowing your business is everything. But that still, even if you want to focus on sync, everybody, especially these days, needs to be their own marketer, their own brand, brand marketing. I know I see Casey, you're probably gonna be talking about that on Saturday. But doing your brand and doing your marketing is so important these days, because all the stuff you're gonna do to monetize comes back to You know, if one I've seen this, an artist comes to a TV show, has the perfect song, that TV show is like, oh, yeah, I like this song, I'm gonna give you $250 for it. Another artist come around and that artist has 10,000 followers on TikTok, and that artist gets 20,000 streams a month on Spotify and has so many artists on Reel. When they hear that artist, like, oh yeah, love this song, we'll give you $2,500 for it. So part of your ability to brand is tied into how much effort you put into your own. Part of your ability to charge is based on how big you can make your own brand.
How much time we got, bro? Cause how much time we got?
About 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes. Okay, real quick. So I know y'all know I came up here and I went off instantly. So the reason why I did that is because, and he made me think of this. So I'm a little frustrated. You know, I'm about to be 30 in a couple days, so I done got up in age. I still want to be an artist. So I know that labels are not checking for me. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking for me because the first thing I'm gonna do when they start talking numbers is I'm gonna want to negotiate because I know your 360 not gonna work for somebody like me. I got kids and stuff like that. I don't want to hear that. So I had a label consultation. I had a conference call with a label, and we were talking business. And these folks were telling me how awful things were looking for me as an artist. Oh, you're not streaming enough, and that's the only way we are gonna want to get behind you. Your numbers aren't good enough. So he said I got good numbers. Well, not good enough to get signed, because these people looked at me as if like I'm on the ground, you know what I'm saying, with it. You know, like, you're not streaming enough. Your PR, you need a PR person. Your narrative, you need to clean up your narrative. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they telling me how hard it's gonna be me to be a successful artist. This is what these people telling me on the phone, and I know they would have got any other artist with this mess, okay? So, but me being a business person first, and me hearing what these people are telling me, I'm like, I make 6 figures off music, I don't gotta stream at all. So who's successful? Do you get what I'm saying? They would have got some 18-year-old, 17-year-old, 20-year-old artists with this joint, signed them, and these people and this child would have signed their life away. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in me, I'm listening to what they're saying, I'm like, there are ways to monetize off of your passion without signing to the system. You know what I'm saying? Now I compare the system like a job fair. These people, each job is the label, and these people want you to work for them. They want you to come in. That is a system that you can choose to go down. You know, some artists are the cookie cutter artists. You know, you have to get signed. You are just like a Uzi Vert. You have a lane carved out for you, and we're gonna put you down on this conveyor belt, and we're gonna make money off you, and we want your soul. That is a lane you can choose to go down if that's you. Some people are okay with that, but when you're an artist, I'm an artist. I live and breathe this every day. Every day I wake up, I figure out what I want to do creative to express myself. When you are that type of artist, you know, you don't have to choose the system. Be a business person, build your brand. You know, find out how you do that is. You find out who you are talking to first. Who is your demographic of people that want to listen to you? What is your story? You know, what message are you trying to get across? Who wants to listen? Once you figure that out, what makes them want to listen to your story? Well, what makes them want to buy your product from you instead of the next person who do something similar to you? Why this toilet paper brand instead of this one? They're gonna buy into a story. Oh, my grandma used this toilet paper all my life. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what, that toilet paper looks better than this one all of a sudden. Same fabric, all this stuff, but this one has a story that I can relate to. I love my grandma. I'm gonna go with this brand. This is what I'm talking about, and you have to figure out what you need to do in order for these people to buy from you. Yeah, am I making sense?
Yeah.
Am I making sense? All right, I just had to put that out there. Yes, okay.
You heard him say they pretty much turned it down because it was based off his numbers, right, his streams. In my opinion, I think a lot of labels start losing when they start getting away from having A&Rs. Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
A&Rs used to, fly from New York to LA and come to whatever city and ask who's hot. Fuck the numbers. Who's hot down here? If we see something we can work with, we can take it and put money behind it and then turn it into something. The labels have gotten away from that. This guy's talented. He has commercials all on TV, all kind of shit. But the label turned him down because his numbers didn't add up. Fuck the talent, his numbers didn't add up. And I think that's what's opening the doors for young black CEOs. Like, look how you got to change the game. It's not about numbers, it's about raw talent. Look at this deal with that girl Glorilla, raw talent. Look how Ross changed the game. QC, you follow what I'm saying? They are still street A&Rs, they're not playing the label game. You follow what I'm saying? So a lot of labels are losing by judging people off of numbers. I'm the type, I don't judge people off of Instagram followers. You follow what I'm saying? That's the first thing people say, look, how many followers you got? It don't fucking matter. You follow what I'm saying? You can turn around and say, we got 500 followers who's really down in the dirt. We judge them off the numbers. In my opinion, it's just a mistake. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm open to all kind of shit. I don't judge them. I look at the product of the person that's in front of me and see, can we work with that? You feel me?
For sure.
Does that make sense to y'all?
Yeah, definitely good content. Eric, so do you ever catch any artists or people dealing with you? I know you on a control camp, I know you deal with that as well. But when you're out of these summits and these conferences, do you ever hear music or see artists and you be like, I think they can make the cut? And then when you see that, what's the next action after that?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm always looking for that sense because so for me, a lot of times you can hear an artist who has real good production or they got the real stage presence. They might not know that their music could also work on TV or in an ad.
So they may not know the business piece of that.
They might know, well, it's a creative thing too, because you might just make your song for the streets or for the club, and you might not know what might need to be different for an advertisement or even for a TV. And so something as simple as people who want to have this stuff on TV are always going to make a clean version of the song. You know what I mean? So, but if that might not be part of your regular process. You might only, especially if you're not pitching the radio anymore, then you're just going to put something to put out on Spotify and you don't care about whether it's a clean version. But if you want to try to pitch to TV, then you need a clean version. And you still need to have all your stems when you leave. If you didn't record it yourself, if you go to a studio, you need to have your stems because the TV might just want the instrumental, or they might want the instrumental with just the chorus, or you never ever know. So sometimes you go to a studio and you get your stuff, and then you're done. You never see the engineer anymore. You paid, you're out, and so that's part of why I do Control Camp. Is just the more we know about those things, the more we can all share information. Then the better we can take advantage of opportunities. So if I'm seeing a new artist, I might be like, all right, so for example, say you're an R&B artist, you're a singer, you might be more like her or SZA, and you might do real like in your feelings type songs, real kind of slow, down-tempo vibe. Those could still work on TV. That might work on a show like Euphoria or a show like Insecure or stuff like that, where a lot of shows where, vibe track also works. So I would let an artist like that know. But I also let them know that, hey, the way you're singing, it's not that big a stretch. If you add to some of those down-tempo songs, why don't you put a couple of up-tempo, feel-good songs about, being on top of the world or just feeling like you're in your bag, you're about to get it. Put a couple of those songs in it because those songs can get ads. The down-tempo songs, the brands aren't necessarily going to get behind a song that's, where you're feeling down. But they're going to get behind the song. They want their brand associated. When you think of them, you listen to every ad, it's all, I feel good. This is, I'm on top of the world type songs. And so a lot of me talking to artists is not changing what you're doing, but again, it's kind of like an A&R. It's kind of looking at what you do and saying, okay, you can monetize that this way. And then if you also add some of this to your catalog, then you're going to open up some additional lanes without changing your brand and without changing who you are.
Swayyvo, when you being creative and making music, do you be intentional, like, hey, I'm making this as a commercial track, I know I'm trying to put this on a TV show or on a video game or on an NBA ad, do you think like that, or you just make the music and let it be what it be?
Sometimes. It can go either way. I definitely make music for expression. as often as possible. Build up that catalog, because the catalog is very important. So I do make songs more consistently off of how I'm feeling and what's going on, because like I said, it's an expression, but sometimes, you know, there are opportunities that arise where I see a void that needs to be filled or something like that, and I will make a song with a target. So some of the songs that I placed on something like an NBA 2K, I did make those songs with NBA 2K in mind. You know what I'm saying? So I do make songs with intention when I see a use for it, but for the most part, like I said,